here with Tim Hill. Congratulations on the film. A lot of fun. Reminded me of a 90s Nickelodeon movie.
Yeah, it is. It's a throwback kind of John Hughesy, um, fun for the whole family comedy. And it sort of harkens back to, when more movies did what this movie does.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely. So, this is I know a lot of people have probably been asking you about this, but, you can't ignore it. And that is how impressive this cast is. I know this is a long ways ago when this movie was originally made. What was the process like getting this cast together?
Yeah, casting is not always about the right person for the right part. It's about schedule, money, other things. But we lucked out. Let's just put it that way. It started with Bob De Niro. He and I met. He was in Florida doing a movie, and he'd read the script, and we'd gone out to him to, and he was a little concerned about the original script, but he loved the book. So he asked me to think about how I'd get this book, a script based more on the book, that referenced the book a little more. It had a lot of deeper themes and more emotional elements that he liked. And, he'd just done Dirty Grandpa or something. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, with Zac Efron.
Yeah. So he'd done a lot of, crazy comedy. I don't know if he was, it's like, why would he need to do this movie? But then when we got into what the themes were and the kind of gags and the comedy, and we started talking about it, and I started giving him outlines and what it could be, and then he would respond, and we got into a pretty good sort of rhythm there, just in development, and eventually he signed on. Based on, him being satisfied with what I thought the movie, well, we actually agreed on most things. But then once Bob came on, it gets a little easier if you have Bob De Niro, as you can imagine. People would like to work with him. So, yeah, and Uma and Chris obviously had worked with him before, and they'd remained friends. So they soon came after Bob, and then basically the rest, like Rob, Cheech, Jane, Laura, was kind of send them the script, talk about it, talk about their roles, and see if we were simpatico, and then then they all signed on too. So you better start with the marquee name, and that's sort of how that unfolded.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've delved a lot into the genre of family films. What is it about that genre in particular that draws you in?
I'm a little silly, and it's just in the way I write, and I like absurd humor, physical humor. Huge fan of silent movies. All the great comedy directors, from Chaplin to Keaton, Harold Lloyd. I've always loved the Three Stooges. I'm just kind of that way, and so that kind of puts me in a in a place where, yeah, that's what kids like too. Generally, people falling on their face. It's picaresque, I guess you could say, but it's just something that I've always had an affinity for. Not that I wouldn't do other movies, I would, but sometimes you do 3 or 4 of these and suddenly you're that guy. So I do like working with kids, and I like stories like the one, like The War with Grandpa, because there's so many different layers that like of storytelling. Or there's like this comic thing, there's this war, there's what do we do with dad, he's getting older. We got to move him in the house. And what if you were a kid and you got kicked out of your room because your dumb grandfather's moving in? Like, wouldn't you be pissed? Yeah, you'd be pissed because that's your room, right? You got to move up to the attic. Those things are all kind of going on at the same time. Plus, it's conflict, territorial conflict, which can be upgraded, to more social level. Like, what is all this conflict we have? Why is there tit for tat fighting going on? It's kind of about that in one way. So I don't just do it because I don't just make the movie because it has one thing that I'm just going to hammer all the time. I try to look for like that texture that has many themes, many elements, comedy, drama. I think they all work together well. It's not that easy, but when it works, I'm pretty satisfied with it.
Yeah, that you touched upon something that I was going to ask you about. So, in the movie, obviously Robert De Niro's character is very well aware initially what's going to happen between him and his grandson. He brings this up, and he says, things are going to get crazy. You're not going to like how this is going to play out. Yada yada yada. What I was very taken back with this movie was the fact at how well you balanced the tone. Can you talk a little bit about how you were able to create that, where you made the moments that were silly and fun, really, extravagant, but then you had those heartfelt moments and like moments of like sincerity?
Well, that's a good. I mean, tone is key for me to these kinds of movies because if you strike the right tone, you can entertain a broad spectrum of audience, older people, younger people, because you'll have serious moments. You have a little, well, it's like a sweet and sour kind of dynamic where you have serious moments like, you know what, kid, you want a war? You got to watch out because I'm coming after you. And he's serious. But Bob is like totally serious when he says that. And he's very convincing. And Peter's like, yeah, bring it on, motherfucker, And sorry for swearing, but
No worries.
he they're so convincing and so Bob wants to teach the kid what it's like. Oh yeah, you think you know about it? I've been there, man. I'm gonna show you. But then he gets caught up in it. So that's what's funny to me. He's like, I'm gonna get that kid, And we started out as being the teacher, right? I'll show you. You're gonna see. And then he gets pranked, and so he has to prank him, and he gets caught up in it. He actually becomes a kid in the story, and it saves his life. Makes him happy and more alive than he was when he was living at home. And now he's going to have a girlfriend and he's having a new lease, and it's because he got into this thing with his grandson. So I try to make it work both logically and emotionally, and then tonally that it has that, laugh out loud moments, but some very deep moments too. And the actual, how does it happen? A lot of times it happens in editorial. How long should a scene go on? Like, and how have you made your point? Can you move on? And, usually there's a lot more there than you need. Or at least you hope there is because you have choices. So it's partly built in the post process. But as far as the acting and that tone, that's, that we were very careful. Did a lot of different versions too, because I knew there would be like, maybe the scene should be deeper, or maybe the scene should just be a goof. And so I would do it with kind of different takes with the actors. Or maybe I should push it farther, like it's not quite, gelling, and the actors were very accommodating, so that worked out.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And then my last question, I know when I got to ask the actors, everyone had a different favorite scene in the movie.
Oh, really?
For you, what is your favorite scene?
You know, I'm probably the one person who has several favorites, but because I lived with them for so long, from the script to the to the editing of the movie. But I really thought the dodgeball scene came out very well. It was tough. It was a tough shoot. A lot of moving parts and technical things and actors getting tired and things like that. So having worked so hard on it and sort of meeting the challenge is very satisfying to be able to put it all together with people throwing foam balls at each other. And so I really enjoyed that scene. Um, the Christmas scene, I like the big set pieces. I think I'm proud of them. I don't know, like I love it when Bob falls through a doorway because his grandson took the hinges off. You know what I mean? Those moments I think are really, the shaving cream one was really fun. And I don't know, I could probably wax on, but
It's okay.
I I don't know. Yeah.
Well, Tim, thank you very much. I appreciate this interview. I hope you look like you had a blast when you were making this movie based on everything that happened.
Yeah,
So
sure.
I hope you did. And thank you so much for taking the time. And, I'll do my best to help promote this movie as much as I can next week to get some eyeballs on it.
Oh, cool. That'd be awesome. I really have I don't know what to expect, frankly, with our situation about who will come to see it.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's a total crapshoot. You never know.
It is, right? Yeah, I know. It's like maybe, right? So I haven't really like, I'm just glad it's coming out. I mean, I think it'll be fun for whoever sees it.
Nice change of pace. Something
Yeah,
fun to watch.
yeah. Well, listen, I appreciate your interest and your questions. It was really nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you as well. Have a good one, and I'll
All right.
talk to you hopefully in the future. Take care.
Oh, yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.